Record. All right. So, obviously those of you that we've been chatting with know that we are going to go over the solfeggio frequencies today and talk a little bit about sound healing, which we all know has been kind of in every culture for as far back as any of us know. Sound healing to some degree or another, whether it's just as simple as using drums for chanting, or waves and Mother Nature itself, or actually working with solfeggio frequencies. So frequencies, it's kind of interesting. I mean, we all kind of know what they are and what they do, but we don't really necessarily have a kind of deep understanding. I'm sure some of you do, but basically in a nutshell, everything has its own frequency. Every cell, every molecule, everything kind of has its own oscillatory rate that spins within itself, and that is indeed what the frequency is. And the solfeggio frequencies interact with those frequencies within us. And they also the solfeggio frequencies in particular work with the Schumann resonance of the earth, which is constantly vibrating and interacting with us as well. So that kind of makes them a little bit unique to a lot of other frequencies that we tend to use with sound healing. With the solfeggio frequencies, they were developed by a monk a long time ago. And there's a whole kind of mathematical way that the monk came about with these frequencies. Kind of too much to get into, and I don't think where anybody really wants to go today with it. But they were kind of tucked away and lost when the church decided that us common folk, it was too much for us common folk to be able to utilize these sacred frequencies. So that's just kind of a very quick little background on them. Each solfeggio frequency, as you know, like with those of you who have tuning forks, are designated to a certain chakra. So obviously the idea is to use them to release or move energy in that chakra. However, solfeggio frequencies themselves, every solfeggio frequency is good for every chakra. Okay, so even though you have your your fork, I mean, a lot of you I'm sure have like colored forks, and it correlates with a particular chakra and tells you this is the chakra that it goes to. You can in fact use it on every single chakra in your body. Every solfeggio frequency works with every chakra to balance and harmonize it. Okay, so the main thing, one of the main reasons that they correlate them to specific chakras is what the frequency actually does in your body, what it tends to release, the organs it tends to correlate with in terms of healing, and even connections to source, to spirit, to your higher self. Different solfeggio frequencies can help you achieve those different things. So even though, yes, we correlate them to specific chakras, and we'll eventually reach that point where we go through and use them on specific chakras, you can, if you only have one tuning fork in your house, you can use that on all of your chakras. Okay. So solfeggio frequencies, they create a vibration, and this actually was a scientific find in some biochemistry institute in Germany. They had done a study and did indeed find that the solfeggio frequencies actually did contain the tones, that the vibrations that are necessary to break down block traumas, blocked energies, emotions, and so forth, and help you to release them from your body. It's one of the reasons why the solfeggio frequencies are so effective for us in so many ways, even if we don't realize exactly how they're interacting in our body and what they're doing. So we listen to them, and we'll put them on YouTube in the background, and we can feel it. It's relaxing, and maybe we feel it interacting with a certain chakra. But when we physically use a tuning fork or something on our body or in our auric field, we can actually use that frequency to move and interact directly with energies and blockages in your body. So you don't necessarily get that effect from listening to the frequency on YouTube. So, or anything like that. Kind of a little bit more, intense with how it interacts with your body and affects the cells and organs in your body in person like that. So each solfeggio frequency obviously does different things. What do they all do? We have all 9 of the solfeggio frequencies. Initially, there were only 6. 3 more were added on, just a little bit more history about the solfeggio frequencies. Years later, after they were rediscovered, and it was found how they figured out the solfeggio frequencies. So the lowest 3 are the kind of newest of the solfeggio frequencies. 174 hertz. I think that a lot of you are familiar with that one in particular because it is one that's often used for pain relief, for physical and emotional pain relief. A lot of people definitely use it for physical pain relief on their body. It's a lot of times in terms of the correlation to what chakra it is used with. It's kind of, there's 2 ballparks on that one. So some people will use it for the soul star chakra, and some will use it for below, even lower than the earth star chakra, which is about a foot below your feet. It's said to kind of give you a direct connection to source, a direct connection to all of creation, and some correlate that with the depths of the earth. Others correlate it to being connected to God. It can be used in either spot and still provide that kind of connection. Either way, your body is receiving and absorbing that vibration. So again, a big thing is that we use it as a natural pain reliever, and in which case you very simply, if you have the tuning fork itself, you can just strike it and literally hold it right to wherever you have a source of pain. And it actually can work quite quickly to help alleviate pain. And you can hold it there until it's just not vibrating anymore. You also can listen to it, and that also helps with any kind of emotional pain, trauma, and so forth.
We're a little early with you.
This, was there anyone else? It also works as kind of a great tune-up fork. 174 hertz. You can use it over your entire body and through your entire auric field, and it kind of acts as a tune-up. It really communicates with your organs, with every cell in your organs, to kind of help them get back into optimal performance. Okay. I don't know how long you guys want to go, because this, going through every chakra can take a bit of time. So I'm just going to talk about each frequency a bit first, and then we'll see how much time we want to take to go with working with them.
So I'm going to use the 174 on the 174 hertz one on my headache right now.
Yes, use it on your headache. You can put it directly where it hurts, put it at the base of your skull. If that is too much, going directly on where your head actually hurts, you can just bring the fork end close to the direct source of the pain, where you can feel and absorb the vibration from it and see if that helps.
All right. I'm doing it directly.
So Jill is asking if you're deaf, curious about listening. So listening, when you're deaf, is obviously different because they don't hear. Stupid, right? But they do feel. They do tend to feel things. So playing a solfeggio frequency in the background, like on your computer and stuff, they're probably not going to get the same as they would from being in person with a tuning fork or a singing bowl, or anywhere that the frequency is actually vibrating near you, because you can feel the frequency. You can feel the vibration as it's passing, even not direct contact with your body. So for a deaf person, around their body, even putting it near their ears, they will, even though they can't hear, they will feel the frequencies and their bodies will still absorb them. So they will still get a very healing effect from using tuning forks, singing bowls, any of those that create the vibration that you can actually feel. So that's the downside of just listening to stuff, like I said, on YouTube, is that you're not actually feeling the frequency itself. The frequency is not necessarily reaching you the same way. Does that make sense, Jill? All right. So, okay. So the 285 hertz is the next one. That one is typically used at the Earth Star chakra. Yeah, you can definitely feel the vibration, and that, that tells you just how powerful it is. And, just that you can feel it like that when it's close to you, tells you, shows you that your body is absorbing it, that it's your body is taking it in. One real quick thing with the tuning forks is that, I have the full solfeggio set, but I also have some that are weighted. And it is said that if you want to actually use them on a physical body, that you have to use the weighted fork. Otherwise, it doesn't send the frequency through enough. And I can tell you that is not true. So if you have a set like I have sitting here that is not weighted, check yourself, strike it and put it on you, and you will feel it, and the vibration still will be completely absorbed and transmitted through your body. I just wanted to throw that out there real quick, because I said you can, as Anna posted, she can feel the vibration from the fork. So again, 285 hertz, typically used at the Earth Star chakra below the feet. This is known to actually help regenerate tissue, heal topical wounds, burns, injuries, and so forth. Obviously, if you have a burn or a gaping wound, you don't want to stick the fork right on it, because clearly that's not going to feel too good. You could do just around it, physically on the tissue around it, or you can just go and bring the fork end down close to the tissue that needs to be healed. Beyond that, it helps to return cells to their original shape, which is part of how it is able to help heal wounds and such so easily. It communicates with your entire system to help send messages through your energy field to help restructure damaged organs as well. Kind of goes along with healing tissue in general. And helps to boost your immune system. Kind of said to be a natural antioxidant. Some people use the 285 hertz, for a literal anti-aging treatment. I haven't tried that. Maybe I should. I don't know, but I have not tried that. I tend to be a little bit more with the healing part of things.
I'm sorry.
Oh, it's okay.
The cat just snotted on me.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
Nice.
He does it pretty regularly. He has sinus issues. Here he is. See? Give us the clip.
Aw. He just wanted to get in on the love.
He did.
All right. So next we have the 396 hertz. Sorry, I'm a lip balm addict. Associated with the root chakra. This is known to help liberate you from feelings of fear and guilt. It helps to release hidden blockages and limiting subconscious beliefs that you have. It's helpful to remove and eliminate obstacles from your body and kind of bring you back to reality. It's also helpful to release fears and phobias that you have. And that, you know, is why it kind of correlates with the root chakra, because you're talking about your feelings of security and safety in general. Really kind of helps your subconscious mind release and remove a lot of obstacles and bad emotions. Physically, it's often used for autoimmune issues, bone issues, blood and stress related disorders. Those, you know, are the primary physical for 396. I tend to use it more for the emotional part. Not that it's not good for physical healing. Anything that, you know, helps with autoimmune disease, bone issues, things like that is wonderful. But I've found really good results with moving energy at the root chakra and helping to release a lot of the obstacles that are kind of lodged in there and keep you in a state of like guilt or fear and stress. Next one, 417 hertz, sacral chakra, helps open the doors to personal improvement and help produce energy to bring about change. So this one's kind of all about change and renewal in general. It helps to decrease the effects of traumatic experiences from this life, past life trauma, any, you know, karmic stuff that kind of weighs you down. It can help you change your perspective and face the present with fresh eyes, as it's helping you to release a lot of this karma and traumatic energy that you have stuck in you.
So, Gail, I have a question.
Yeah.
So, sorry.
No problem.
For like that tuning fork that you're talking about, where would you place that on your body? Like if I have a headache, I can put it on my forehead. I know that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry about the dog.
That's okay.
For once, it's not me.
No,
That's okay.
It's usually me.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
So I don't know, for that one, for instance, and maybe one of the other ones that isn't directly trying to heal a pain source, but more grief, more, you know, that type of thing, where would you put it?
So you would put the end directly on the chakra that it correlates with.
Got it. Got it. That's
Okay.
what I want to make sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Wanted to
you
make
would,
sure.
so the method that I tend to use, because with the frequencies, we're working within the body and we're also working with our energetic field, which also carries and holds a lot of energies and a lot of our emotional and karmic baggage. So the solfeggio frequencies help to release a lot of that. And that's where a lot of the emotional part of it comes into play. There's so much that we carry and we don't know why. Why do I keep doing the same stupid thing over and over and over when I know what the outcome is going to be? I know it's wrong. I know it's because we have all these stuck energies. So working, you know, at the chakra level with the tuning forks directly on the chakra, but you also can take the tuning fork. I'll grab the 417 now. Okay. So I'll just give you just a quick, let me stand up and give you the whole view here. So, you know, being at my sacral, you know, after being directly on the chakra, what I would do for myself or somebody else is I would then strike it again. I would start at the chakra, and I would bring the tuning fork all the way out at least a foot beyond my physical body.
Okay.
Okay. And you
All
want
right.
to do that. You want to do that on both sides.
Okay.
You can go,
Got
you can do it from, if somebody's laying on their stomach or on their back, it doesn't really matter. You're going to activate and work with that chakra and with your energetic field regardless. Okay.
Okay.
And
Mhm.
you can try it right now if you want, and you can feel it even as you're exiting, being close to your physical body, you can continue to feel it. And the more you work with it and kind of feel into the frequency and even hear the tuning fork in your energetic field, you're going to hear and feel the differences of the sound that the fork is making, or even sometimes a little bit of slight resistance. And it's going to be slight. It's obviously not going to be like someone's there pulling it on you. You're going to feel just like a little bit of like, oh, wait a second, that didn't feel quite the same. And that's where you know that you have some stuck energy that you need to keep working with. So you can, take that tuning fork and go over both sides and, kind of feel into it. And you can indeed go over those areas more than once to help release and move that energy out.
Got it.
Okay.
Yeah, very helpful. Thank you. So I need to know the chakra that everything's related to.
No,
Got it.
that's fine. And listen, I welcome questions. Just an important thing to say as we're talking about that, we are moving energy when we are doing that, even in our auric field like that. So it's important to follow the typical rules when you do any kind of energy work. Keep yourself hydrated, keep yourself grounded, and so forth afterwards. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So
No, don't you dare.
the back to the 417 said, I don't know how long everybody wants to go. So if everyone is like, okay, you know what, I don't have time, let's cut it off. Let me know and we can pick up at, we can schedule another class and I can pick up wherever we leave off. Okay. So the 417 again, solar, sacral chakra. Physically, we'll get to the physical part of it because we did talk a little bit about the emotional part of it, not completely, but anything really in the sacral region, which I think kind of doesn't really need to be said, seeing how you're working in that area, but that really is what it is primarily used for. Male, female issues, any kind of hormonal irregularities, even though, the hormones themselves are not all necessarily in that area. Obviously, they affect the area. That's anything male, female, uterus, pelvis, any of that area. Even digestive stuff in the sacral area, if you're having lower digestive issues, can be helpful for that. The again, one of the main things, the biggest thing is for kind of change and renewal emotionally with it. All right, next we have 528 hertz, which I know a lot of you are familiar with. It's a very popular one, very common one. Kind of a universal frequency of love, you see it for a lot, known as the miracle tone because it is said to repair damaged DNA, which is one of the reasons why you do see it so much aside from the love part. Sorry, I have a dog fur. It's making my nose itch. I know I'm not the only dog owner here, thankfully. So I know that one. But that's one of the really, really big things is that it's supposed to be just that miracle tone to really help repair your DNA, help it return to its natural state.
But this
There's
is
a
solar
whole
plexus?
science and math behind it, but again, we won't get into all of that. It does help to activate your imagination, your intuition. It increases your energy, peace of mind, clarity, helps to rid you of impatience, negative thoughts, pride, tendency to not complete projects, being overly critical and unaccepting, even of yourself. If you have difficulty achieving your own personal goals, if you're feeling that you're a little bit on the aggressive side, or that somebody else, what's the tone that puts my pets to sleep? Is that chloroform? No, I'm just kidding. This frequency, solar plexus.
Oh,
I don't think
thank
that
you.
I said that yet. Sorry. Physically, anything just like any other of the chakras in the solar plexus region. So, stomach, liver, gallbladder, spleen, all of that stuff. Even as far as up as heartburn and things like that, digestive problems in general. It can be really helpful for extreme fatigue. So that probably won't put your dogs to sleep. It can help with insulin production. So if you're, kind of having some blood sugar issues, but you're, obviously not suggesting it for somebody who is on insulin to not take insulin. Yes, 528, Amanda. Yeah. Thanks, Anna. It can help with, like I said, with diabetes, anything in that area. Don't stop taking your insulin. If you're trying to just kind of watch your sugar and you're, told, hey, you're getting a little bit high, this frequency can help. Not your free ticket to eat all the cake if you have sugar issues. It can help with food intolerances. It can help with weight problems, any kind of digestive issues really in general. So that's the 528, Amanda. Yeah. And again, that is the solar plexus. 639 hertz is associated with the heart chakra. It enables creations of harmonious relationships. I know, I don't know about you guys, but for me, I think 528 hertz being like the love frequency, we think that's for that automatically to me puts me to heart chakra, but actually 639 is what is associated with the heart chakra. And because it does enable the creation of harmonious relationships. It encourages your cells to communicate with their environment. It's a tone of connection and relationships, helps to create peace and harmony within ourselves and with people around us. Helps to reduce tensions by enhancing understanding, tolerance, sympathy, mutual respect, and love. All of these things, brings you right back to the heart chakra, right? It can help to release feelings of sadness. It can help feelings of greed, and even the extreme opposite. If you find that you're constantly an overly generous person, that you're just giving all the time, that can kind of help balance that a little bit. It can help with a lot of fears and paranoias. A lot of relationship issues. Again, it kind of brings in that harmony and balance. Physically, obviously, we're in the heart, we're working in the thoracic region. So any issues like irregular heartbeats, heart rhythms, blood pressure issues, nervous system, lymphatic system, blood and circulation issues. It's also good for the immune and respiratory system. So that's the main things for 639. Any questions for anyone on anything so far? We're good. All right. 741 hertz, the throat chakra. Primarily helps with problem solving. Helps you to face problems of any sort with grace and clarity. Helps to lead you into confident self-expression, bringing out your true self, helping you to live your authentic self, speak your authentic self, and to do so with grace. not just, we're all like, oh, hey, F you. Yeah, my throat chakra is wide open. Well, okay, so it's wide open, but maybe not necessarily so balanced. We do want to kind of have a little bit of grace with just how open our throat chakra is. We do want to express ourselves openly and freely. 741 does help with that, but it does help us do it with a little bit of grace. To me, that's kind of important because, as much as I'm pretty free flowing and sometimes I can be a truck driver with things, we don't necessarily have to have our throat chakra that loudly wide open, right? It also kind of helps free us from negative emotions. It helps to eliminate toxins from our body and protect ourselves from electromagnetic radiation all around us, right? So yeah, 741 is a big one to have around because that electromagnetic radiation, what all around us all right now, right? Listening to it can help release feelings of failure, lack of love, shyness, nervousness, feeling helpless, and having difficulty expressing yourself. So that's just listening to it can help you do that. So imagine actually working with your throat chakra directly with that frequency. It's going to amplify all of that. Just going from listening to actually using a tuning fork or something physically with the frequency vibrating into you. It's good for any ailments in the throat area, throat and neck region. Okay, thyroid, parathyroid, your neck itself, sore throat, speech issues. So, stuttering, things like that, it can be helpful for. It's also helpful too for the shoulder, your shoulders and upper back, jaw, mouth, ears, lungs. So still kind of in your throat region, being your ears, all of that up here, not so much third eye, that's still inside kind of your throat region. So ear issues are, a big one. People with tinnitus, sounds kind of counterproductive, right? Let's whack a thing and listen to it, vibrate like crazy as we're trying to get rid of tinnitus, but it actually is really helpful for things like that. Yeah. So 852 hertz associated with the third eye. Ooh, right? We all want that wide open. It helps to raise your awareness and help return to spiritual order by helping enhance your ability to see through the illusions of life. Opens a channel of communication with spirit, and it can be used as a means of spiritual awakening. Now, obviously, we're not going to put an 852 hertz fork to our third eye and all of a sudden, bam, here we are. But it can directly help to open and balance and help you with connection. It actually is really, really, really powerful for that. I think if you were to actually put it to your third eye and then, work the energy around your third eye, then you're going to continue to feel that vibration for a long time, even after removing it. I've found it to be really very powerful, not just for using it for the moment, but for after effects, how long the effect lasts after having that tuning fork there. Yeah, so it can help to encourage inner strength and self-realization. Also helps clear away mental overactivity. Kathy. I thought you'd like that.
I do not have ADHD running rampant right now. I do not.
No, you're good. You're good. You're good. It can remove other blockages that prevent communication with your spirit guides. So, we all have our spirit guides. We all know they're there. Sometimes we have a hard time, really feeling like we're opening that door to connect with them. This frequency can directly help remove blockages to help you communicate with your spirit guides. For people who are using them to heal somebody else, working on somebody else, the 852 can actually help you see and feel where an issue is going on with somebody. So it's not only good for the person that you're working on, but also is helpful for you as the healer. It works wonderfully with the nervous system, helps clear negative thoughts, helps with lack of concentration, helps build curiosity and spirituality. As you're laughing, Kathy. And it also helps with worry and being too passive. So, you know, either helps with both sides of the coin, helps you bring that balance. If you tend to feel that, you know, inferior, this can help with that. It also can help if you just feel that you are all that and bottle of wax. Again, it helps to kind of bring that balance. Physically, it can help with any issues of the brain. It can help with pituitary, face issues, eyes, and even the upper neck area. Hormonal imbalances can also be helped with this frequency. Obviously, a lot of our hormones are created by the pituitary gland and many others in there. This frequency will help directly balance production. Next, yeah. 963 hertz associated with the crown chakra. It's thought to decalcify and activate the pineal gland, connects you to spirit and the perfection of the universe, helps you to enable your true nature, oneness, yourself one with the universe. It helps you to redirect your body and mind and spirit to its original perfect state and to connect you to these energies to help you truly experience that feeling of oneness with the spiritual world. Yeah. So it really helps us to feel connected and really helps to open and balance that crown chakra and remove any blockages that keep you from really feeling and experiencing that connection. It's also really great for lack of energy or lack of inspiration, indecisiveness. It can bring back feelings of joy. So if you've been kind of melancholy and so forth, it can really help bring you back to a state of joy from there. Physically helps with nervous system. Like I said, any ailments with the brain here with this one as well. Relieves headaches and is good for immune deficiency. Things like chronic fatigue, insomnia, sleepwalking, narcolepsy, weakened immune system, any chronic illnesses, really, it is very beneficial for. So that's kind of an overview of the solfeggio frequencies. And before I keep you guys too much longer, I just want to throw one more frequency in there because it's one that I think that most of us are very familiar with, and it's 432 hertz. We all kind of know that one, right? Because that's what we see a lot of the singing bowls. And you notice that that's not actually a solfeggio frequency. So it doesn't necessarily interact as on the same level that the solfeggio frequencies do, but it is a very healing and soothing frequency. It's considered to be the God frequency. Aligns and opens all the chakras from the planetary core to the star gateways. So even though it's not a solfeggio frequency, it does work to align and open all of your chakras. It's said to actually be the sound of Om, which often, you know, we hear in chants, and it's been used for years to help activate and bring yourself to higher spiritual levels. Because it is a universal frequency that aligns and connects us and is said to be the God frequency, and it is really very, very relaxing and really kind of gives a lot of people the chills. So you really feel it and connect to it a lot. And that's kind of why they use that frequency for a lot of the singing bowls. And then what they do with the singing bowls is rather than, and they do have solfeggio frequency singing bowls, but obviously more often now we see them either in 440 or 432 or something like that. They then tune the singing bowls to the note that actually correlates to the chakra, not the solfeggio frequency itself. Okay. So that's kind of the basic overview of the solfeggio frequencies. If anyone has any questions, if there's, anything with the tuning forks that you would like help with, anything that I can demonstrate for you, let me know.
Gail, can you explain, so say I have 396 and I want to use it for my root chakra.
Yep.
I mean, how often do you do this? Or, how do you use it other than where I place it? How often?
So it varies.
Oh.
Like anything else, you know you. So you can, when you start using a tuning fork, sorry, I have a young child trying to call me. So obsessively.
It was my dog. Somehow.
My granddaughter's little friend trying to call me on Facebook. So as you really start to get the feel of the fork in your energy field, and you start to notice the shifts and changes yourself, you will know how frequently you need to do it. So I could take you, Kathy, and I could put you on the table today, and I could go top to bottom and do your entire body, go through all of the frequencies, work through any of your blockages on either side, work directly on each chakra, and we're good. Wow. Holy cow, do I feel amazing. And, mentally and physically, you're good. After like a full body workup, I wouldn't say go do it again the next day. Give your body time because you are moving a lot of energy. When working just with one chakra itself, I think you can be a little bit more free with how frequently you do it. But so when you move the energy like that, okay, and we're talking about removing energetic blockages, whether they are in your auric field or somewhere in your body, we're moving them, and that allows for shifts and change to happen. Okay. So each time you go back, if you were to come to me, say 2 weeks later for a whole session again, you're going to be completely different than you were before, very likely. So there'll still be probably some energetic stuff because we can move karmic blockages, we can move stuck energy. But if you're not addressing some of the problems, some of that energy is going to come back. Sometimes all it does take is removing energy that's just hanging around, and you're good with that energy. But then because things shift and change within you, we still need to go back sometimes and rework the aura and around those chakras themselves. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So just one last quick interesting thing for you all, because as we're learning to work with ourselves or with somebody else with the tuning forks, we carry energies and blockages all over, and you can usually put a direct correlation from one side of your body to the other as to whether it is energies from a past life or current life. So typically blockages and stuck stagnant energy on your left is past life. Your right side is typically current stuff going on. So that can be helpful when you're moving energy and not understanding why, hey, that energy was moved and all was good. Why is it back? Well, maybe because you're still doing the same stuff and bringing that energy back to yourself, right? Or maybe it's because, yes, you have a past life issue and, okay, we moved the energy, but you haven't learned that lesson. So it's still coming back to you and just kind of brings you back to it. Okay. And you can find that sometimes with chronic pain as well. So if if you have, unexplained chronic pain on one side of your body, or let's just say that, oh, my rib cage over here, for some reason on my left side just always bothers me, and I really don't have a medical reason for it. You could probably get some past life stuff going on there, right? So, moving some energy there may actually completely resolve that issue for you.
I have a question.
Okay, go ahead, Anna.
Sometimes people use singing bowls and say that the crystals will hold the frequency of the singing bowls.
Yeah.
Is it true with tuning forks too?
So everything has its own frequency, and you can infuse energy and clear energy from crystals with the frequencies from forks and bowls. They're not going to carry a frequency for any amount of time. So what you can do when working with tuning forks with crystals is you can put a crystal directly on your body, on your chakra, and put the tuning fork to it, and it's going to amplify the effect of both. It's going to amplify the effect of the crystal, and it's going to amplify the effect of the frequency from the tuning fork. However, after that is done, that crystal does not have the capacity to carry that frequency for any amount of time. You can, especially if you're using a quartz-based crystal, you can program it to ask it basically to carry the effects, carry the healing effects of that. But how long it actually is going to, it's clear quartz. It kind of holds everything forever, but know that it's not technically carrying the frequency. It can't possibly hold the frequency because it has its own frequency. So you would have to physically change the structure of something for it to carry a frequency like that. So while it's absorbing it, it's not changing the frequency of something else. It's working with the frequency of the crystal, much like it's working with the frequencies of your cells.
Okay, thank you.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
thanks.
Okay.
Cool.
Anybody else?
That was awesome.
Well, good. I'm glad that you liked it.
Yeah, very much.
I hope
I
that
loved
everyone.
it. It was great. I have a lot of notes.
Good.
Yeah, I do too. I do too.
Good.
2 full
Well,
pages.
hopefully I will successfully post the replay anyway, so that you can go back to it, and you can reach out
Cool.
with any questions anyways. And again, if you guys want, if there's interest, we can I'm sure that I can probably find a volunteer and do a full tuning fork session on someone, or we can move on to something else. That's up to you guys. I mean, I think you kind of have a general idea of how to use a tuning fork on yourself. Obviously, there's a lot of ways you can use them. For many things. I mean, you can indeed take like the 174 hertz, give it a good whack, and apply it to your bath water, and that should infuse the frequency in there. How long it's going to hold it, I don't have a direct scientific answer to that question, but it is thought to be helpful to infuse frequencies into things. Even your drinking water or foods or anything like that can be helpful. So yeah. All right.
Cool.
Great. Yes, it was great. Thank you.
Okay.
I'm
You're
going to do it
welcome.
every day now.
Yes. Well, I listen. I've got my own tuning fork or another out all the time. Good for something. And as for pets, you can use them on pets as well. They just tend to be a little bit more sensitive to them. Obviously, the sharp noise and even the feeling of the vibration. Sometimes some pets love it, some hate it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I should try
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, but they're just honestly, animals are far more receptive and sensitive to
Yeah.
frequencies than we are. So they catch them pretty darn quickly. If they hightail it, you know that they're not into it. If they're coming hanging around while you're doing your tuning forks, well, chances are they're like, hey, this is feeling kind of cool. So, just kind of enter it slowly. Don't go
Oh,
whacking the hockey puck with the fork next to their ear or anything like that, because that's going to be really sharp and definitely be a hard no. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, I will, you guys certainly give me feedback if you want me to go further with tuning fork stuff. If you want to visit singing bowls or, anything like that, let me know and we'll do stuff. Okay. All right. Any other questions? Anybody? All right. Well, thanks for coming, everybody.
Thanks for your time, Gail. I
you.
appreciate it.
You're
Yeah.
welcome.
Don't forget to hit end recording.
And
Or whatever it's gonna say. Yes.
yeah. And
Save. Save to
Yeah.
your laptop.
Yeah, so I did initially ask it to send it to my laptop, so I did hit end, now it's asking me end meeting for all or leave meeting.
Hit stop recording first, or
I did hit,
Okay.
oh, did I hit
But it
stop
still says
recording?
it's recording.
Oh, it does, hang on.
Yeah.
Give me,
All
why is
right,
it?
I guess.
Oh, wait a
All right.
second, oh, here.